If you love them, you will heal. Now, you may attribute that to forgiveness or something like that, and that could be what it is, or some relationship that you've broken up with and you want to let them go, and you know that maybe loving them would help you let go of that attachment that you have to them. But it could be so much more than that, and understanding this one principle could really help you understand your life and probably the world right now. But that title is also something that I received on this date on November 14th, 2020, 4 years ago. And so, but I can explain it now. And it actually gives me an opportunity to talk about what's happening with me and our world, and probably with you. Because when I come up to do something like this, I know someone's going to hear it where it's going to make a big difference for them, for they will understand what's happening to them, what's going on in their world, and how they can start to change it. And that's what I'm always wanting to do. So what I'm going to do is read that message, but also a couple of other messages, because we are preparing for a full moon tomorrow, and it's a really powerful one. We are moving through dynamic times in our world. We've all felt it, we've seen it, and we're probably wondering what is happening. And I'm telling you that it's probably the best time of your life. And that may not make sense, but hopefully when you start to love yourself a lot more after you hear the rest of this video, it will make sense to you, because that is why you're alive. That's the only reason that you're alive, is to love yourself, do something that's great, and help to change the world. When I say things like that, people go, what does that mean? It means that every person was born to offer something that's within them, and as they do that, they live great lives and change the world. But it also happens over time, not instantly for anyone, and it doesn't happen instantly for our civilization, which is what we're moving through currently. We're always doing that, but we're just in a little more of a dynamic time now. But that's also for a reason. It's connected to the movement of our planets, of the galaxies, and energies, which we are beginning to understand. But let me read, I'm going to show this little, I put together a couple of messages because I'm going to read them to you. And also I'm doing this because I'm having a Wilhelm channeling session tomorrow for the full moon, because it's a good one, and it's the best time for you to create the life you want to have, to start to move forward. And you'll understand all the events that have happened in the last several years, basically, of your life and of our world, because it's a big shift that we're moving through, and it's the best time for you. So, I'm going to explain all of this to you. If you love them, you will heal. And of course, that photo looks like it's a relationship, but it is a relationship. It's the relationship you with you is where we're going to go to. But this is the message that came through on November 14th, 2020. If you love them, you will heal. We love this message so much because it will cross so many timelines within your life and that of your world. In the end, it will aid the acceleration of the current restructuring each of you and the world is experiencing. That complicated sentence will end up making sense to each of you in your life. As we have said, the current restructuring is occurring within each of you. So that is where you must look to see where you have been holding yourself back from who you wanted to be in this life. Now, we have also said you are experiencing energies provided to you through your ancestors, which is also part of the motivation you are using now, even though it is not conscious to you. Roger can pinpoint his more specifically due to his recent discovery of the depth of the impact his great-grandfather had on the world. Roger did not believe he could fulfill carrying that role forward into this life, just like you thought there was something you could not accomplish. You are all one, but you spend lifetimes, including this one, discovering more of that. For there is greater power in unity than division. Now here is the part of the story that will resonate with so many. As we recounted, Roger shared a photo online intended to promote unity, but had the opposite effect. But the beauty of that event is it caused Roger to know his life purpose. We are purposely saying this here because so many of you feel you do not have one, or it is not essential, or that it won't make a difference in the world. And that is never true for you or anyone. Roger planned a webinar for today and, at the same time, could feel himself almost attempting to avoid it, which showed up yesterday when he discovered he had not prepared as he would have liked. Roger has done that his entire life. For if he doesn't put his all in, then he has a perfect excuse for why it all didn't work. Then last night, as his associates are putting things together and Roger is simultaneously feeling guilty, his friend said, "Let's go for a drive." Roger thought he needed to prepare instead, and his friend said, "Why? You already know this stuff." That little sentence we snuck in is for you because you each already know your stuff, but you don't see that you do. Roger will prove that today in his webinar. Here is the restructuring each of you is to do and why it will cross timelines, aid evolution, and this current restructuring. And that is to love yourself. We yelled that at Roger and to all of you. For if you love yourself, you love them. You all will have what you want and the world evolves. You do this a bit at a time, but you do get there. And you will be fine. Wilhelm. Then the next day, on November 15th of 2020, which is leading to our full moon tomorrow, but I'll read this one. You never wanted to change them. You wanted to change you. That sentence is correct for every individual, and not understanding this concept is the source of the discourse you witness in the world and your life. There is no separation. This morning, we awakened Roger quite early, and he glanced at the news report showing demonstrations and brawls that erupted in the United States Capitol. Of course, we would have to go there, for we have said you are all in a massive restructuring that begins with each of you and never in the other person, although you do use others to discover yourself. You will find it challenging to perform self-reflection without the examples provided to you by others. You each were born to accomplish something unique to you and congruent with your soul's evolution and timeline. You don't have to understand that sentence, but we will have it make sense in your current physical life experience. You must come to determine or recognize what it is you want to achieve in your life now. When Roger observed the conflicts, what came to his awareness was many were fighting with one another to find their power and control. But the source of that power and control never existed out there somewhere. It is within each of you. We will now prove it to you. Months ago, we told Roger not to become distracted with the current election in the United States, for it has already been decided. At that time, Roger listened to us and got back to his purpose, which he could have easily avoided again, as he has done for eons. What he wanted to do this lifetime is to embrace and own his leadership skills, intuitive communication, and helping others utilize their untapped ability to evolve. Roger, like you, did not know for sure he could do that. You fear what you think you want to do, for you believe you may not have the ability, and that is never true. Yesterday, Roger held his webinar, which we said would be successful and yield better results than his previous endeavors because that webinar was aligned with his life purpose. Several days ago, Roger recorded a video saying, of course, through us, that once you find your life purpose, you will have little time for anything else. And now the truth of those words resonate for him. Many of you will find yourself moving to new areas of your life due to your world's conditions. You will find your focus returning to what you desire to create in this life and continually find more courage to move in that direction. We must leave you with this. Many have thought the saying, seeing is believing, was valuable when, in fact, it derailed you. Believing causes sight. You will be fine. Wilhelm. Then, for the full moon tomorrow, this was the message that came through last year because I always receive it before. So this is where we are and what we're going to come to tomorrow. November 15th, 2023. Choose the life you want today. There is no crucial choice you could make and no more important day than today for you to do so. When you make that choice, you choose yourself, an act of love that can change your life and world. While we know the times in your life and world have been turbulent, we have said they were for a reason. Restructuring your evolutionary journey and your planet's ascension. As you view the message we provided 3 years ago, your life and world, and for your world, you will find more of your inherent worth and value, which is unlimited. You can accomplish anything in life and the world when you love yourself. Wilhelm. Now, all of that is to say that everything that I was being given, was for this time in our world. And that is the philosophy that I was given, and it starts with a different premise than anything that we've done. And that's why it's new. And it says that you came into the world with something great to offer, and if you do that, then you start to change the world. Everything is energy. We start to figure it out. We heal when we let go of old stuff. You know, I had to go back when Wilhelm gave me all of this, and the reason I can sit here now at 74 and say everything has been healed is because I started to address the things that were there that were holding me back that I didn't even know, because they're in your consciousness, in our collective consciousness. And so you can see, if you go to my website, you will see this on the in 2016, there's an article there, if you go back to the very beginning, and I talked about my recognition of my racism and misogyny. See, because when you understand that you are this eternal being, you're this powerful, eternal spiritual being, well, you've lived a lot of different lives. You've taken on a lot of things that did not serve you. And so if you want to live the life you want now, it would be best to examine those things and then let go of them so that you can evolve. But our world is meant to do that as well. And that's why I was given this work, so that more of us could move beyond those limiting beliefs and start to become the happy, prosperous, abundant, loving people that we could be, because then you heal. And I know that it works because that's what was given to me. And that's why I said yesterday I was given something that can take a person to their personal, huge success, because it's within you. All you have to do is move through the barriers. But then if you think about that, and that's why I said, wow, this could change the world. Because every difficulty that you see experienced out in the world is just people not willing to let go of their grievances. So you have to decide if you're going to do that. And then the benefit is you come to love yourself, and then you heal, because all that stress has been eliminated from you. And I know this because that's what I've done. But what's happening now, I'm doing the channeling session tomorrow. We would love for you to show up and ask any questions you like. But then we're building out this whole philosophy, because you must understand something. If you've heard any people talk about the work that they've done in this, they've done just very little. Because I've only given them 31 days of a philosophy that took me 35 years to do every single day. So I'm putting so much more of that in. And then I'm not doing everything. This is just the philosophy. But then we have other folks. We have Yarna, who's coming and doing such great work with breath work and releasing things, because that's all we're ever doing. And so we're putting that in and have great staff, and that's what's happening now, because I'm telling you, you can achieve anything. And the only reason that you won't is because you've been talked out of it. That's all. And you can change that by starting to believe in yourself and reach the next level of your life, because it is there. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel, share this with others, and I'll leave the information in the description also for everything else. See you guys soon.